All right. We are live, baby.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.
Right. Once again, we're coming yet another week, another episode of the Tipping Point Morning Show. All right. So it is yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe, and my brother from another mother. And you know, that includes Mother Earth as well. My brother John Yeah, Esoteric Concepts. How you doing, family?
Peace, brother. How you doing this morning, man, on this Christmas Saturday morning? Is it different? Does the air feel different or something because it's Christmas? So what do you think? The streets are quiet out there. Ain't that many people on the streets?
Is it that's the only thing that feels different, man. Is this? It's not it's not as many people out there. But outside of that, brother, it's another Saturday.
Yep.
You know, it is another Saturday, another week. And it is what the 25th of December 2021. Yet another Saturday that you will not get back ever again at all. So make the best of this Saturday, man. How was your week?
Man, it was awesome. Awesome week, lot going on. I don't know where to begin. It's been a very revealing week for me in products, new products, new connections.
Oh man,
new ideas.
Some of the stuff we've been sharing in the product game, man, is just absolutely dope when it comes to that. So I'm just in awe right now when it comes to some of the stuff we've been finding out about product. And it's crazy because you're talking about products that are an everyday thing. I mean, stuff that, and it's like, I guess you can share, and whoever grasp it, right? But it's just dope because I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, that's how these companies are doing it. That's how they making these profits, man, because dog, the stuff, I mean, these are everyday products, but good Lord, we finding it for prices crazy. And so I'm excited, man. I'm excited that I'm in your circle because you hit me to this, and I shared it with my brother last night. And he's such a hustler, man. He was in awe. He was already on the affiliate side of it with Amazon, and then now once I shared that with him, he was like, bro. And so he's like going ham right now.
What's interesting is that sharing this information, it's like being open and shared. It's one thing that I love doing, is basically sharing information. But it's so much information that's out there that you can't step on each other's toes. We think about an abundance of information that everybody can share, but everybody's not going to do anyway. Number one, everybody's not going to take the real effort to really go and do the research and really pull it out. Only a very few, like maybe a percentage of 1%, will actually do it. In other words, you can give a person information, but everybody ain't going to move on it. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, they're not going to move on it. But as we was just sharing and looking at what I discovered over the week is how small of a price you can get these products for. And you can still give a percentage up to the platform that you're selling it on. And that platform takes care of everything. Actually, you would be talking about something that sounds insane that you can do. So let me give you an example. So, I'm a fan of Fiji water, and what I try to do is look at something that I like buying. Got an echo?
Gotcha.
Yeah, if it's something that I like buying, that I use a lot, I try to find a way to invest in it. They say that if you look for investments, look at something you buy all the time.
And that's actually the way people should invest in stocks as well. That's one little secret that they've said when it comes to stock. If you like it, if you like the product, if you like the company, you should go look for that stock and invest in it. My dad told me that when I was a kid with Dollar Tree because I used to spend a lot of time there. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, if you go to the grocery store, whatever store, and you've been used to buying this product, but you've been kind of seeing this product missing, somebody's always buying it, it's always off the shelf. That's the ideal. Then not only can you consider investing in growth stocks with the company, but you can also look at investing in their dividends and receiving dividends. But what's interesting is that, I've been a partner with Alibaba since about 2010. I've been finding companies that I do business with in China and Taiwan, and that's how I found it. I'm giving you the secret. I'm just dropping jewels that you can go to Alibaba and find anything, right? And so here I was. I was looking around and I was saying, wow, somebody mentioned. I was watching this gentleman talk about how he made millions off Amazon. I'm always seeing something about that, and he moved from he was getting Fiji water and putting it on Amazon, right? Cases of Fiji water. So I said, wow.
Hey, I don't know if they're ready for this, John. I don't know if they're ready. I just want to alert everybody to what you're about to hear. Just go ahead, John. Just drop it on them, and I'm praying everybody's mind is ready to receive properly, because I don't want y'all to implode. I don't want to get any reports that people's head exploded when they hit it. So I'm preparing y'all now.
So a case of Fiji water, I get it all the time. I may get it from Sam's Club. 24 bottles in there. I think I get it for about $22, $23. Comes with a little bit less.
Now here, let me ask you a question. What makes you get Fiji water over other waters? I'm just curious.
Okay, so I'm a water tester. So I have an alkaline test that I do. And so I've tested all kinds of water. And so Fiji is the number one that holds up the alkalinity in it that I've seen so far. And there's other waters, but I like the number that Fiji has. And a lot of times you see these waters say they 8-9%. You get to. I have a tester. I have actually an alkaline tester. Do you
have is it like a one of those Techrometer alkaline tester, or is it? Or are you using the strips? Because I know they have I think it's called a Techrometer or something.
No, I actually
because I used to be in. Okay,
this is what I use. I use the and so professional people use this in pools and stuff like that. So I spent a little money for that. So I have a tester for fluoride in water, and stuff like that. So when I started testing water, I started testing all kinds of water. And I was going to do a video on this something a while back and just kind of talk about different waters. Different alkaline waters, whether the water is alkaline naturally or whether the water is alkaline through electronic pulse through a machine that people are running through a machine, and it provides an electrical pulse to it. And so I just start doing water testing, taking off the tops, letting it set for a while, and then testing the water the day later and seeing that the alkalinity stays the same, 7.2 or above is what I look for. So, Fiji kind of sold me on that. And I said, well, I'm going to start sticking with Fiji. Now,
yeah.
So back to what I was saying. So, I was listening to this guy who's a millionaire, and one of the products that he was selling on Amazon was Fiji. So I said, wow, that's interesting. So I went to Alibaba. Now, by the way, I see Fiji water on Amazon, $20 a case, which is cheaper than what I was getting from Sam's Club, and shipped to you free. So shipped to my door, $20 a case, flat, in $19.48, I believe. A flat rate, come right to your door. Boom, 24 bottles, right? So I said, wow, so how in the hell can I get in on Fiji company and then get that water cheaper? So went to Alibaba. Well, guess what? A case of 24, you won't believe what I'm going to tell you. $2 a box. No, $2 a box.
$2 holla.
$2.
$2 holla. So $2 for a case of Fiji water. Woo, man. Hey, look.
So, here's what's interesting.
Go ahead, man.
Just like all the other products that we are seeing, you're getting it for pennies through Alibaba and what China's doing with it. See, we have made this a norm to spend this much money on a bottle of water. We have made it our norm because we don't know any better.
Because it costs more than $2. It costs more than $2 for that bottle.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can get a whole case for $2. And so the point is that, okay, so the minimum order for that $2 a case is 240 cases. 240 cases for $2.
So look, real quick. Don't let that scare y'all. Because guess what? If I go in with you, and if you look at that 240 cases times $2, right? $2 a case, right? So you really talking about what? $480, right?
$480, exactly.
$480. Now somebody's looking at this and they're saying, man, I ain't got $480 right now, but man, I want to get in on that. Ooh. Guess what? Let's go in together. Hey, get 4 people. See, that's the problem with a lot of us. We don't look at how we can work together to make things happen. Hey, we could put together one store and get 4 people. Everybody put up $100. Guess what? You get the case Fiji, and we boom, get it popping. And I want to just throw that out there real quick because there's a lot of products on there that are inexpensive, but they have some larger. Some of them that have 1,000 minimum. But guess what? Just go in together with somebody. You know what I mean? Y'all go in together and do it together. So don't let that scare you when you hear these minimum orders and stuff like that. Go ahead, John.
Well, and what's interesting is that, as my company is not only a packaging company, we package our own products, but we are also a distributor. So, a lot of times when you create a product and you mass produce it, a lot of people have to find a distributor to distribute those products in the local stores or throughout, right? Through chain stores. Right? So there's distributors, they don't make products, they just carry it. So actually you can create a distributor company in this city that can deliver these waters to stores very cheap. Then they're getting it from the local delivery people, very cheap, right? I don't think nobody can even mess with that. Well, I was looking at headphones and earbuds that are going for $20 and $25 online. You're getting it for $1.40, for a whole and packaged well, right? And I kid you not, you just have to really look into. I know we sound crazy right now to some people, like that niggas is crazy.
Hey, no, for real. People are listening and they're like, "What is they talking about? $2 for a case of Fiji water, $2 for a Bluetooth headset, $2 for 80 cents for some Bluetooth earbuds, and they sell them, and JVC selling them for $20, no holler in the convenience store. What are they talking about?
And what people begin to think, and one of the things
we're talking about communism, we're talking about capitalism, by the way.
Right, exactly, right. And so people would assume because it's coming from China that it must be no good or it must be counterfeit. Not necessarily, right? And so you can get generic products. You can get a generic product that is a very good quality. Okay, you get the right company. And you can also take that product and you can white label it and put your own brand on that. Think about that. And so you can have those.
I want everybody right now to go to Alibaba.com and sign up right now. Go sign up. Alibaba.com. Go sign up.
Right? Yeah. See, we can share this information because there's enough of this abundance for everyone. And it's not like, oh, you're going to tell some people that, and now they're going to jump on in and close the door. No, you won't. Majority of the people that are right now listening, and by the way, thank you for listening to us. Thank you. We appreciate you. Please share this information. It's one thing that we definitely do. We do this for you. And so we appreciate.
Yes, Lucrece, you are right. It's Fuji water. We've been saying Fiji. Look, it's Fuji water. I think it comes from Fiji or something. I don't know, but
no, it's Fiji.
It's good water. Is it Fiji or Fuji?
It's Fiji. Fuji is a is a electronic device. Fuji is, I think, but Fiji is the water.
Okay, got you. Okay, all right,
right.
Cool.
So it's not like everybody's gonna jump in and it closes the door. Those of you who are listening, less than 1% of you will actually go and do what he just said. And just because we are already programmed to think this way. This has became our norm to spend $2 and something for a bottle of water. It became our norm. But when you start seeing these prices, you look at things a little different. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, this price costs $1 and something, but I done paid $40 for it. There are people
and you know what's amazing? Yeah, and what's amazing, bro, is we get excited for this type of stuff. Like I get excited for the opportunity to create business. Why? Because that equals freedom. Yes. That equals true freedom. And it's so amazing, just like Kari saying, Asians pool their funds and buy hair products in bulk for a lower price, then distribute it out to the stores across the nation, where all of us of melanated skin will walk into those Asian hair stores and buy up those melanated targeted products, while Super Beauty goes out of business up the street as a Black-owned hair everything store, simply because we can't break ourselves away from going to Mr. Lee's spot over here. We can't break ourselves away long enough to go and support them. Maybe it's a little drive, maybe they're not on every corner or whatever, but because we don't look at supporting each other as a precedence, as a priority, then a store like that goes out of business simply because, right? So we've got to do better in working together with each other. Shout out to Kari Muhammad, shout out Lucrece Kidd, shout out brother Frank Stoner. All good, appreciate you. So bro, that's just I'm just so ecstatic with that, and it's awesome when you run into people or resonate with people that are just as excited about creating business. I'm trying to get to the point to where one day I don't have to worry about it, and I can just be a philanthropist. I just want to go around and help other people start businesses. I drop a little percentage in and all that good stuff and all of that. But I just want to go around and help other people start business. That's a dream of mine, to be able to go around and do that with a lot of different people. Shout out Layla Hampton. We actually gonna have her on here shortly, and she's gonna be talking with us and about an event she has coming up, Kwanzaa chess event she has coming up, and she'll be on soon talking about that. And we might even see if we can captivate the crowd with a relation between chess and capitalism. So, I mean, just getting into this topic, here we are. We're already talking about capitalism, right? Let's talk about the difference, or let's pull some definitions. So, capitalism, An economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. I already like that definition because what it says is it's controlled by private owners for profit rather than the state, meaning the government's hands are there, but I get to control a lot of it. You know, when I was 18, one of the first introductions to taxes I had was getting into multi-level marketing, right? So I learned at 18 that even as a W-2 employee, I could fill out that other side of the the W-9 or whatever, worksheet 2 that a lot of people don't know exists, right? And I could actually project my write-offs and things for the year, which would yield me a certain number of write-offs, which in turn would make my taxes lower, taken out every week as a W-2 employee, right? So my federal taxes would be lowered because I was using that money towards business. And then at the end of the year, I could write off enough things in business to compensate for that money that I took during the year and then some. Rather than what most people do is you put 0, you put 1, or you put 0 on there. They take all your taxes out during the year. At the end of the year, you get that money back. Now, if you actually calculate it, you get back less than what they took throughout the year. Now, if you have kids and things of that nature, you get to add that on. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, for most tax professionals out there, most entrepreneurs, most business owners, even from some of the millionaire talk brothers that we just had conversations with over the past couple of weeks, they will tell you you really shouldn't be getting money back at the end of the year outside of your write-offs. That's kind of, but you know, that's a whole nother conversation. So what's your thoughts on that definition of capitalism and how that works for you?
Well, two things you mentioned there that I definitely want to talk about. Okay, so you know, yes, when it comes to capitalism, what that means is that you control and you pick what profit you want to make. If I wanted to take one of my products and I want to sell it for $2 wholesale, I can do that. Nobody's regulating me. No one's saying, hey, you can't do that. In fact, it would just be up to the store owner to whether or not he want to purchase it or not, because he may have to push that price up to $4 in order to get his money. Nobody's regulating. Nobody's coming in and saying, hey, you're charging too much. So in other words, I can make as much profit as I want from my company. I can choose to make $100,000 a year, or I can choose to pay myself $200,000 a year. It's just that simple. And I can make that choice without any regulations. Now, let's talk about taxes just for a brief second, about how this works when companies extract your part of your pay for tax reasons. Now, this is what companies do. If you work for me, and this is why I give out 1099s, we don't do taxes. I don't do no hold nobody's money. Because here's the thing. Companies, you will go to work for 8 hours, and the company keeps what? Close to 1/3 of your money. They withhold, but guess where that money's at? That money is in their bank account being flipped. Mm-hmm. Then at the end of the year, when that company pays its taxes, it gives up what it held from you and give it to the government. Then you got to go file to get the remaining, because they always overtake. This is why you see in your application going to work for a job, there's an exempt form that you can sign off to where you can exempt from having taxes taken out on you, and where when it comes to paying taxes, you only pay exactly what you owe the government, not overage. Because someone's holding on your money and you don't even know that, because we done made this shit a norm. The company you're working for is fucking holding that money and flipping it. That money is being turned in that company, and you ain't getting a percentage back. You're not getting any interest with that money. 1/3 of your money staying in that company, and that company's flipping. That company ain't gave that to the government. That's your money, and that company's flipping it. So people don't understand how it works. But back to capitalism. The point of capitalism, and I definitely want you to read the other two, but definitely capitalism, you can set your goals in whatever you want to do, and it's called free enterprise. What that means is I can sell to anyone. There is no limit of what I can do. Open up a website, open up a store. I can deliver it by hand, or, you know, I can put it in the mail. Nothing stopping you when it comes to capitalism, right? So it's an open free market. I can sell to overseas and anything. That's what makes it an open free enterprise market.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna get into the other two real quick, but I want to make sure. Let me see here. Am I okay? Here we go. Let's look at this one. All right, so I want to make sure I give a big shout out to healthdaddywow.net. All right, just remember that's healthdaddywow.net. Now, the cool thing about Health Daddy Wow is number one, of course, Black-owned company, and with that in mind, they are giving you 10% off all month. It's still going on. All right. Whether you go online or whether you walk in the store. If you walk in the store and you walk right up to the counter and you look at them, you say tipping points. Guess what? That's an automatic 10%. All right.
Automatic.
You might get banged in the head if you yell and scream it like that. But I'm just saying, if you say tipping point or you say tipping, if you just standing there and you about to fall over and you say, "Oh, I'm tipping," they gonna give you a 10% discount before you hit the ground. You know what I mean? That's just what's gonna happen. All right. But again, tipping point. You go to healthdaddywow.net. That's the code. Tipping. TIPPING. And you will get that 10% off. We also want to make sure that we give a big shout out to Kari Muhammad with Incredible Custom Inc.com. Okay, that's INKREDA. let me stop playing and act like I know how to spell.
Incredible. That's how you pronounce it.
All right, INKRED. So ink red, and then I think it's IBLE. Let me see. Yeah. It's about to come across the bottom here. It's there. I'm telling y'all. I promise. It's there we go.
Yeah.
IncredibleCustom.com. Look at the bottom. INKREDIBLECUSTOM.com. Or text INK to 678-506-7543. Bro, I saw him last night. He was making custom wrapping paper or something for a company. Dope. Like you can get your own custom design logo on paper. You know what I mean? Like just dope. So you need to hit them up. Again, IncredibleCustom.com. And check them out. And that's Kari Muhammad. So shout out to him. And we also want to give a big shout out to SayaBaba.com. That's SYABABA.com. Again, that's SYABABA.com. SayaBaba.com. All right. Make sure y'all check them out. They are in over 400 locations at a store near you. All right. That's from Cincinnati to Nashville to Louisville, Kentucky, the tri-state area, and the outskirts of some of those as well. Check them out, over 400 stores. And they even got the Fat Boy incense sticks that you can go buy them individually at a lot of stores, and them things burn forever. I think I have one that I started burning last year, still burning right now this year, folks. Just so y'all know, that's how long it burns. But again, SayaBaba.com. And just the same, every life has infinite value. GodsLivesMatter.com. Find the God in you, the power in you to do great things. Again, that's GodsLivesMatter.com. Check them out, and you will see. You can go to the website. Actually, there's a link to get a free bracelet from God's Lives Matter. All right. So if you like the purple shirt with the gold ink, I know next year they're coming out with some new apparel as well. It's in a few days. So be ready for it. GodsLivesMatter.com. All right. And we also want to make sure we give a big shout. I thought she was coming on with us, but I guess we will see her soon. I think she's coming on. But again, Layla, the educator Hampton, is doing a big event, and it's let's see, it's at Laos Mall. All right, and I'm gonna tell y'all something about it real quick. It is a $7 donation. Okay, and let's see here. I got a bunch of flyers and stuff like that. But it's dope because what's happening is, with that being just a $7 donation, folks, this is just a situation where you have the opportunity to be a part of something amazing. All right. And it's actually, like I said, at Laos Mall this Thursday. No, the 30th. The 30th is it's at Laos Mall. And Layla is actually here with us. Sis,
Okay, good.
Welcome to the Tipping Point Morning Show. How are you doing? Hey.
Grand Rising family.
Grand Rising.
Yes.
Look at them dreads. Look at them. Go ahead. Shake them, girl. I see it. Ah. That's what I'm talking
y'all
about.
Want me to act up. It's too early, y'all.
Hey, it's okay. This is we free to act up as much as we want. So tell us about this event that you got going on the 30th. It's a kind of Kwanzaa celebration. But you got a chess tournament going on as well.
Absolutely, yes. First of all, family, I just want to start out by saying that we actually have a Louisville Kwanzaa committee, and we've actually been meeting behind the scenes for the past few months to make this celebration magical. As you know, Kwanzaa is a 7-day celebration. So Louisville, we have an event scheduled for every single night. And as you know, Kwanzaa officially starts tomorrow, December the 26th.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's up?
So,
okay. So go ahead.
Finish up.
I was just going to say, I want everybody, we do have a group on Facebook. Join that group so you can be aware and know what events are going on each night. And also shout out to Play Cousins. They're actually having a virtual celebration every night as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. So how can people, tell us about the events each day, or if you can enlighten us to any of that, and what's going on each day or what have you. Give us some little bit of insight.
I would love to. Thank you. And I just want to start out first by saying that I'm hosting NIA. NIA means purpose. And I chose that night, which is Thursday, December the 30th. Our event is from 3 to 7. And I chose purpose because that was the theme for my chess team this year, Move with Purpose. And we actually ended up winning second place in the regional championship. So on Thursday, December the 30th, from 3 to 7, we are celebrating purpose. And to make that connection, as you were saying, brother, to capitalism, chess actually starts to create that business mindset. With chess, you have to have a plan. You have to have a purpose. Chess is nothing but strategy. And for all my chess players, chess is 99% tactics. And what are tactics? Tactics are what? Strategic advantages over your opponent. So at 3 o'clock, we're kicking it off with our annual Kwanzaa Chess Bowl. Woo! So for our winners, we actually have trophies, we have medals, we have cash prizes. There's going to be a rated section, an unrated section, and the best chess players are going to be in the house. I have a tournament director that's coming in. I have Coach E from the Fork Knights Chess Club, So we're getting ready to get it started. And it's open for all ages, children and adults. My son is going to be playing and he's 5. So we're ready. So the tournament is going to be 3 rounds. It is a $7 donation to play, but you're going to get it right back in the cash prizes. So you're not going to lose out on any money at all. So come out. But for those of you that don't play chess, we are also having a purpose paint party. Woo! We're going to have Kayla Kayla Morgan. She's our art teacher. She is really dope, a young, dope sister. She actually, and I told her that to reach out to you guys so she can come on your show. But she's a young entrepreneur, a young artist that started her own art business. It's called Who Don't Love Art. It's her and her fiance. They're artists, and they started their own business. And so she actually comes out every week to teach art to my students. So we're at having the paint party starting at 4. At 6 o'clock, we're having our NIA celebration. We're going to be lighting our candles. We're going to be giving out awards. We're going to talk about, and I know that my time is coming short, but I want to say this really quickly, family. Why Kwanzaa?
And you're fine on time. You're good.
Okay, good. Just real quick, family. Why Kwanzaa? A lot of people come at me because they're like, why Kwanzaa? Dr. Karanga, he did this, he did that, but he did not, and he did not start the principles of Kwanzaa. It actually is an ancient ancestral celebration. All cultures have celebrated a heritage festival, more of a harvest festival, my bad. And so I wanted to actually go in really quickly why we should celebrate Kwanzaa, what it is. Yes, it was started in 1966 by Dr. Karanga. However, what he found out is that we've always had a harvest celebration. We've always spent this time of the year to come together as a family, because remember, we had to grow our own food, right? So the whole tribe, the whole village had to come together to make sure we could eat. So we would all gather this time of the year to give thanks and gratitude, not only to each other, but to our ancestors. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that and to tell our story. This celebration was brought from the Watts riot. And at that time, it was like a war zone. And look at Louisville now. It's a war zone. Every time I turn the news on, our babies are being shot down in the streets. We are at war, family. And so what we don't just talk about it on this show, do we? On the tipping point, what? We have solutions.
Correct. Let me ask you a question, and I think it's very important. Give us the principles, all 7 principles of Kwanzaa.
Yes, and you actually start out by saying Habari Gani. So at the beginning of each celebration, you say Habari Gani, and then whatever principle it is, like the first day is Umoja. Umoja means unity. And on that first day, we light the black candle. Because as you know, the colors are red, black, and green. The second day is Kuji Chagulia, self-determination. That's another one of my favorites too, because you gotta have that self-determination. The third day is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We light a green candle on that day. So black, red, green, and then you alternate between the red and the green candles. The fourth day is Ujamaa. Some people pronounce it Ujamaa, but that is actually cooperative economics. Another one of my favorites. We actually have to create that business mindset, which is why we need to play chess. And the fifth day is Nia, which is purpose, the day that we're hosting. And I didn't tell the address. It's actually going to be at Mazizi, the Mazizi Homeschool Co-op in the West End, 2600 West Broadway, Suite 205. How many people have chess tournaments in the West End? I'm changing the narrative, family. We gotta play chess, not checkers. The fifth day.
We need to start letting them know you ain't no real gangster unless you know how to play chess.
Absolutely.
So stop playing out here in these streets and come get your chess game on so you can be a real gangster.
Ashe. The sixth day is Kaumba, which means creativity. And that was actually the first name of my homeschool academy when I first started, because we have to teach our babies to think outside their box. They're being programmed. So we got to think. Chess, not checkers. And the last day is Amani, which means faith. We got to have faith, family. But we know that what? Faith without works is dead. So we got to be about that action, and we got to put in that work. This event is free. Shout out to Saya Baba Abibi, Toomey Trading Company. They are one of our sponsors. He actually donated. That is why we're able to provide free programming to our community. We have free vegan and vegetarian food. It's actually going to be sponsored by Ramsey's. Ramsey's in the Highlands actually sponsoring our food. I'm so thankful. My brother, he has his own electronic and printing company. He printed out all the chess sheets for me. He printed out everything for me. So I'm so thankful to my village. Yes.
Oh, Ramsey's all right. I like that, brother.
Me too. So all our food, y'all know it's gonna go down. Yeah, we eating good.
Now, one of the things I want to touch on about Kwanzaa, you mentioned, Kwanzaa was created in 1966, and it was created for a reason. And in fact, a lot of people didn't like Kwanzaa. A lot of people didn't really get on board with Kwanzaa back then. It didn't really pay until later, and thanks that it continued to push. But what the brother did was he just put what he did was uniquely. I thought it was very unique. He took the principles that we were already having, and he placed them in a 7-day term so that it can replace our mindset into this European holiday. And it is very interesting because I remember celebrating Kwanzaa years ago. We would always have some celebration going on, but it wasn't that many people coming out. And I've always raised my daughter in that area. We used to do something every year with Musa at Kenta International on Bardstown Road back in the day. We would always talk about the principles and always making products or creating something new and teaching the children this community effort. There was this thing that we would do. I think we would have this tent. We would have a big tent, and I think Baba would bring this big tent, and the tent has a hole in the middle. You know, a tent actually has a hole in the middle. And so we will all the parents will hold the tent, and we will pull the tent on all ends till the tent is horizontally off the ground. And so one person would take a child and put them on the top of the tent. Now, the ideal is what was the middle was the hole. And we would write everything that was traps that we didn't want our children to experience, drugs, going to prison. And we would write it on a note and we would put it in the hole. And so when we put a child on top of the tent, we will all navigate the tent so that the child can go across it, around it without falling in the hole. So it was a community effort thing that we were doing. And it was all the parents will they will be pulling the tent, trying to keep the child from falling in the middle. And what this was basically community effort of saving our children. It was just a mindset concept, right? And I thought it was awesome the way that was created. But again, these are principles that are extremely important. I think they are great when it comes to self-awareness, self-communication, doing business with ourselves, all these principles. And I believe that these principles should be practiced every day, not just wait until one time of the year. I think it's something that we should be doing all the time. I mean, every principle of Kwanzaa you should take with you and incorporate in your life every day. Just those principles that she just mentioned, just incorporate it in your life every day and watch how your mindset will change.
And I'm glad you said that, because absolutely Kwanzaa is 365. It's just not December 26th to January the 1st. And at our school, each day is actually dedicated to a Kwanzaa principle. And as you were saying, John, it's all about the children.
Yeah.
It's all about saving the children. Kwanzaa is all about the youth. So we are encouraging the families, parents, children, come on out. We gotta plant that seed.
Okay. So I'm loving it. I'm excited for it. I'm glad that we are a city that has a Layla and others all involved. I mean, look at John behind the scenes. You know, John's always supporting behind the scenes. A lot of people don't even realize it. He does a lot of support. He puts his money where his mouth is, and you know, I'm just excited to have this brother in our circle, just the same in our city. You know, but I mean, with that being said, you know, Layla, hats off to you for doing what you're doing. You always are in the city bringing something forth to help elevate and educate. I guess that's why they call you Layla, the educator Hampton. Absolutely.
Right. And I want to say, John actually, he bought the first 4 chessboards that I had for my school. John bought those, and chess clocks too. So like you said, he puts his money where his mouth is.
Well,
you know,
you're right. He puts his
and you might sometimes hear his mouth and you might not like what he say. You might not like what he say. But guess what? I can guarantee you that if you don't like what he says, take 5 minutes to just think about what he said. And while you're thinking about it, look at yourself in the mirror at the same time. Think about what he says, look at yourself in the mirror, take 5 minutes to do that. And I promise you, you will begin to see where he's coming from when he says what he says, because I think that more of us need to focus on looking at ourselves when it comes to different things. And Layla, you can go ahead if you want and kick it with us. We're gonna continue in some of this conversation here because we don't have a lot of time. I didn't want to stay on too long just because it is Christmas morning, and I know I got some little ones that got to go and do some things with. So with that in mind, we talked about capitalism, all right, and I want to see if I can show a video. See if I can do this. I'm not positive if I can, and if you guys can see this, if you guys get a chance to see this video, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can add me here. Add to the stream. There we go. And let's see if this works. I'm not positive. Share. Man, having trouble connecting this. I was caused by. Let's see. I may or may not be able to do this. We're gonna see if this works. But I'm going to try and share. Share screen and see if I can share screen easy with 2 monitors. If I can do this, because I want to share that thing that
Rand Paul.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get that going. He lit into one of these politicians or something that's from another country, and you know, some of y'all gonna be mad at that because you're gonna say, oh, she's you know, a foreigner or what have you, and y'all gonna be mad at that. But I'm gonna tell you what, don't be mad at all. Man, it's looking like I can't make it happen But with that in mind, what he did when he lit into her, because she is from another country, right?
Somalia.
So she's from Somalia. So some of y'all gonna be extra mad because she's from Somalia, right? With that in mind, she made some comments, John, about America being a terrible place or something like that, right? So she's, I guess focusing on whatever racism and this, that, and the other, right? And so she's
Congressman Omar.
Okay, Congressman Omar. Is that a he or she?
It's a she.
It is okay. I just want to make sure because I'm pretty sure I thought it was a she, but she made a comment about America being a terrible place, blase swaze, and he comes in to say, hey, I resent those comments about America being a terrible place, because what he highlighted was we took her in, we clothed her, we bathed her, right? She's been able to move up in America. She wouldn't be able to do this in Somalia. It'd be so difficult for her to do this in Somalia, but now she is a congresswoman, right?
Yeah. One of the things he's pointing out that she came over here with nothing, and this country here gave her food stamps, gave her housing, gave her free schooling to go to school, and she took advantage of all those things, right? As a lot of foreigners do.
Mm-hmm.
And she had the ability to.
Go ahead. My fault. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Good? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and so she I guess what she does to me, I mean, she's a good sister, she means well, but what she's doing is using talking points. The talking points, everybody uses talking points to get elected. Everybody uses talking points that you think you're representing. So, there's always talking points when it comes to specifically our struggle, and how our struggle is represented in the American picture here, right? And so, she have learned how to use these talking points to get elected. She have learned how to use these talking points to tap into our emotions, right? To say, hey, you on our side because you're using these talking points. But when she made a statement about America being unfair, being unjust, an unjust country, is the point she made. Now I would agree with her to an extent, but my man Ron Paul made a great point. He said, because in the country she comes from, there's poverty, there's no capitalism. There are several fractions of war going on amongst their own people, tribal wars, right? And so
it's been going on for over 40 years now.
Yeah, and what he is saying is that this right here you would not have been afforded the opportunity in that country to become what you are, but you come over here and then you make these statements. Now and again, sometimes some people don't have the full right to make that statements, but I understood what she was doing. These are trigger words, and so these trigger words will upset certain people, but yet at the same time she benefited from these certain things, and I found that hypocritical, even though she's speaking right, but she's only doing it for talking points, and I found that to be kind of hypocritical.
And see, but here's the thing, when it comes to that, where focus goes, energy flows, right? So if you gonna continue to focus on the wrongs, then that's where your energy is. That's where energy is gonna flow. So you're gonna always start seeing those things. You're gonna always start noticing those things. Those things are gonna be brought to your attention more often than not, because it's where your focus is, right? So now, having a platform, you bring a whole bunch of other people along with you on that focus drive towards those negative things. The reason why we have so much disease is because we focus on disease. We study disease. They don't study wellness. The scientists don't focus on studying wellness. They study disease. Therefore, we have more disease, right? So again, where focus goes, energy flows. My thing is, you got a platform, highlight the good, highlight the great, pull people up. Why? Because at that point, you're going to have more people focused on that, which will bring that energy there. So, and that's what we need more of. I saw a Tim Finley recently. He posted something on Twitter. He's running for mayor, and love the brother as a brother. Knowing him outside of that. But one thing I've always noticed with him is he always focuses on, he posted something recently on Twitter, and it was simply a picture of a police having someone down, knees on neck or something, knee on their back or whatever. And with the caption, off to court we go, something like that. No context other than that, right? Just that statement. Guess what? Everybody who rocks along with that energy is commenting like, yeah, blase, swaze. They all into it. And then I saw one person comment, and I agreed with them because they were like, okay, so what's going on here? Why are we posting this? There's no context. What's going on? And it's just sad that you are, yes, Hamara, I'm with you as well. Hey, what's up, little man? Man, hey, that's a famous kid right there. He's all over. See his pictures everywhere. Yeah. With that in mind, look, Hamara says, I'm so tired of race and police. It's true, man. It's why we use again, like you say, John, trigger words, trigger pictures, triggers for these niggas. We keep doing that in order to get people riled up and whatnot. And again, now their attention is not on focusing how great they can be in creating something, right? Their attention is dumbed down into focusing on this thing that really, if you focused on being great and creating and doing better for your community, that thing wouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? Each one teach one. Absolutely. So, with that in mind, I'm just, I love what Rand Paul said. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to say that one thing that I learned is that, and I'm going to say they created conflict for us at any given time. Remember, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Democrats, Republicans, they have to create that conflict because that's what feeds them. That gives them energy. So what we have to do is we have to remember to stay in the balance. Our ancestors lived off of the laws of Mayat. It's balance. There's no good. There's no bad. There's no right. And there's no wrong. So choose balance, family. Stay out of conflict. This is one thing that I'm learning at 45. I'm not engaging in any more conflict. No. Again, they prey, P-R-E-Y, upon your emotions. So stay out of that conflict, family. Unless you
I don't know why. I don't know why Layla would fear, knowing good and well she ain't no older than 36, talking about some 45. I don't know why she would do that. But with
it's that good eating and them good herbs. Frank Health Daddy, wow, he keeps me together. John,
hey look. She said Frank Daddy. Hey, I'm pretty sure he just called it. Look, that's probably why he named it Health Daddy, so people fumble, so the ladies could fumble and say Frank Daddy from time to time.
Health Daddy, yeah.
But yeah, hey, look, see what Health Daddy said? He said, if you don't know how to play chess, you ain't black. I love that. Hey, look, that's a t-shirt right there. Let's do that. Let's put that, let's put that energy out. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love that. Let me see if y'all could hear this. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get this to be heard. No. I'm still having oh, hold on. If I get this to play, we'll turn it up here in a minute if it does play. But you know, I think now when let's real quick, I'm gonna jump on some of these other things here. Socialism by definition is now I'm gonna give you a couple things because the can y'all hear this?
Not really.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna worry about it then. All right, so socialism by definition is a political and economic theory. There's a couple definitions, but a political and economic theory of social organization, which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. Now, think about that. Should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. So, anybody want to step in on that, John? What you think? What does that mean?
Well, so here's how it works. In socialism, let's say, for instance, I created my company here. I created my business, but it's actually not just for me. It's for everyone equally. In other words, my business is your business in the community, right? So the community owns the business. So I came up with the concept, and we all take what I have and we share it out to everyone equally. That is what socialism is.
So you mean profits and everything?
Profit and everything, right? So in other words, I don't create me a company, I create other companies. There's a us thing. And usually the problem with that is this. It works like this. Here's the issue with that. And
that lazy ass motherfucker that ain't working. That's
right.
The first issue.
And there's a lot of people who are absolutely for socialism. But here's what's interesting. So let's say, for instance, you work for a company, and let's say you an engineer. You have an engineer degree. Boom. You work for this company, you have an engineer degree. Here's someone that doesn't have an engineer degree that knows how to drive a forklift or just know how to run a machine, right? The balance is y'all both getting paid the same. And if you're both getting paid the same, what would give one an initiative to go study engineering? If I ain't gonna get paid no more money, I got to do more work. Hell, I might as well do what the guy right here doing and just drive a forklift or just run a machine. It doesn't take no real talent. So in a sense, socialism takes the money and they share it amongst everybody. Now, nothing's wrong with that if you are on that side of wanting something. If you are on that side of wanting something.
Which would mean that you want less than or little, right?
Well, what that means is that you want more for what little work you do. There's nothing that would drive you to do more. There was nothing that would drive you and push you to become a better person in socialism. Socialism will just make you comfortable exactly where you are because your ass is going to get paid anyway.
So right about now, what'd you say, Layla?
No competition.
Right.
There you go. So right about now, I mean, that's interesting because I'm looking at a lot of these fast food places. They up in their price of what they paying because they have less employees. A lot of them are getting money, federal monies, pandemic money, right? And then they can't find employees. So now you starting to get people getting paid $20 an hour to flip burgers.
Now that's socialism. You see how socialism, when they did that, people didn't want to go back to work. That's socialism. Sat around waiting on the check. Okay? But here's what's interesting in communism, and I'm gonna let you go ahead on and read the communism part when you get to that point. But let me read it.
Let me read it first.
Right, but inside of communism, you're gonna see socialism when he reads it. Watch.
Oh, and see, here's the thing. And it's funny that you said, because even in socialism, another part of definition is, and this is parentheses, in Marxist theory, and a lot of y'all need to study Marxism, but a traditional social state between the overthrow of capitalism and the realization of communism. Now, let's go into the definition of communism. Now, again, I'm gonna give you the political ideology first, Communism is a philosophical, social, political, and economic ideology and movement whose goal is the establishment of a community or a communist society, namely a socio-economic order structured upon the ideas of common ownership of the means of production and the absence of social classes, money, and the state. Now, there's a part of that that is interesting when you talk about the absence of social classes, money, and state. Everybody's equal, right? So you know, when you look at that, I have friends growing up in Miami who I remember one brother, his wife was from Cuba, and she had never seen like Bugs Bunny cartoons and stuff like that till she came to America. Why? Because, you know, under your boy, they didn't allow a lot of things because they were trying to stay away from creating the idea of greed, right? Everybody was the same. Everybody got the same. You still had wealthy people, celebrities, and things of that nature. But I believe from what I had learned or understood, they were capped. People came to America because they wanted to be able to grow and expand their wealth, right? And they couldn't do it as much there. So let's look at the traditional definition. And it's, again, communism and socialism, they like kissing cousins right here. A political theory derived from Karl Marx, Marxism, advocating class war and leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. Universal basic income.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting.
That check, y'all keep collecting.
And here's what's interesting. You mentioned when you mentioned about her coming here and then looking at Bugs Bunny cartoons, whatever the case may be, is that not so much as they deny what is called what I would call free enterprise shows. Mm-hmm. Free enterprise shows will make you think different. Mm-hmm. So just like in China, they're not allowed to get on the internet like we can get on the internet and read and learn all kinds of stuff, because it creates an ideal in the head. If y'all recall memory in some of the subject of slavery, slaves wasn't allowed to read. Why is that? Because it creates an ideal that there's something better than this condition right here. So in communism, it's exactly the same. So you keep the people dumb, keep the people unaware, and say everything out there is dangerous and is crazy or is wrong for you. So don't allow that in. But at the same time, what they do basically is in communism, and I'm going to point one out in Cuba communism. Let's say, for instance, I want to start a barbershop. I want to start my own barbershop so I can work for myself. Not in Cuba. No, that barbershop is the government's barbershop. And that government, guess what that government is going to do? It's going to give me exactly what I need. It's going to give me a food voucher, enough food for me to eat once a month. It's going to give me two pair of pants, maybe a pair of shoes that I have to wear all fucking day, every day, right? And you have a free place to stay. So they're going to give me a voucher place to stay. They're going to give me food. They're going to give me 2 pair of shoes or 2 pair of pants a year and a pair of shoes a year, right? Well, I work hard, but the government is their money, not my money. So I cannot do what I want to do with that money, right? So it's all government money. And there's your communism. Your communism is in other words, it blocks you systematically from going forward and doing things independently. So in other words, I work hard, but it ain't my money. I can't do what I want to do with it because why? I'm stuck up on the government is going to give me everything I need. And that's when you read about that part, give you exactly what you need, how much food you need, how much your ass eat, how much clothes you wear. Like I said, I think it's 2 pair of pants.
But what about the argument that everybody gets health care and everybody's fed?
Correct. Well, let's go back. So now here we are in this country. It's very interesting, and you actually cannot find this system in any other country. Let's look at this system for a second. Let's look at something. So we have what is called food stamps. We have what is called welfare. We have what is called AFDC. We have also Section 8. We also have public housing authority, right? So in other words, it's really kind of uninteresting if you are actually in this country and for some reason you can't make it, or like just like why you see foreigners come over here and why are they able to achieve certain goals, and then look at black people and say y'all lazy. What do they mean when they say that? Because what they're saying is that where they come from, you are forced to be in that condition. Over here, you're not forced to be. So therefore, all of it is yours as much as you want to do. A person who come over here from Jamaica, somebody, he may get 2 or 3 jobs. I know a brother, Abu, right on 18th and Broadway. He came over here driving cabs and selling stuff out of the trunk of his car. Now he's got a store, you see, and he takes care of his family back home in Senegal. So their mindset. And when they look at us, they're like, wait a minute, y'all know this country, you speak its language, and y'all fucking ain't up yet. And that's where that ideal come from, because they listen, if you have an ideal and you want to bring that ideal into this existence, if you are in a capitalist country, your ideal may not never come true. But if you're in a free market society, that ideal can prosper out of your mind. And there's the difference. So wouldn't you rather be in a country where your ideal can be supported with the environment, opposed to your ideal being stifled by the government?
Man. So and that is where Republican versus Democrat meet in America, because you're talking about the idea of I think it's more Republican wants to remove big government out of small business more so, right? Whereas the Democrat ideology wants to have government more in control of your business, of your personal shit.
Correct. Create regulations to make you function under a rule.
Exactly. So, and shout out to Hamara Mathis, man. I love her. Right. She says, I stand in solidarity with the Cuban restaurant in Nulu. No to communism. Sounds good, but don't play out right. I wonder if she's talking about that the yellow colored restaurant right there in Nulu, that Black Lives Matter was out trying to protest because they didn't have some black people in there. Them. Let me tell you something. I would love, Jay-Z put out an album.
It was actually the Black Panther Party along with Hamara that was blocking what the Black Lives Matter threatened to do to the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have a sign that says Black Lives Matter or some old shit, right? And so the Black Panther Party came to stand against that.
The Black Panther Party came to let y'all know what you really supposed to be doing and how you really supposed to be doing it. Yeah, go all the way to the top of Black Lives Matter and then look and scratch your head and wonder why are we following this this is dumb. And exactly. And she said they tried to extort them. They did. We gonna protest in front of y'all if you don't do XYZ. What kind of gangster, non-weak, gangster ass people y'all think y'all are, still passing out cases of milk to niggas in the hood when milk thickens mucus in the body, and we in the middle of a pandemic of a COVID virus that has everything to do with thickening mucus in the body, making people hard to breathe, and we supposed to be the ones that got the underlying conditions, and y'all, man, Black Lives. Now let me stop, because I don't want to just sit there and just slap them in their face all day long.
Well, what's interesting is that the enemy, no matter how you try to identify and point to where the enemy's at, is very clever. He's so clever that he's hidden, and we point fingers and not even know where the enemy's at and who is the enemy, right? So I'll give you an example. The enemy will create the problem. Then we'll create the solution for you in the problem. You see? So just like Black Lives Matter was a solution to a problem, right? The enemy created that. And then we go and join exactly that. So in other words, these are stress hormones. And what's the most important thing to do to get our frequency low? So that if our frequency goes low, then you have a system that is set and waiting for that low frequency.
Now, would you say that Black Lives Matter initially started out
correct
potentially as a good thing
correct.
in response to a need, and then the enemy
correct
came through and infiltrated it because of the love of money?
Well, look at this for a second. Now, Black Lives Matter was created with a genuine heart. It was about serious concern of what was going on. Hey, our lives matter too. But here's the thing. So someone says, hey, let me go fund the Black Lives Matter, blow Black Lives Matter up, make it a big thing all over the country. Now, here's what's interesting. So, it's been said for years that George Soros has been financing Black Lives Matter. Now, it's not a secret. And what's interesting is that information wasn't leaked. That information was supposed to come out to make another side of Black people not like Black Lives Matter. If George Soros, which is a billionaire, you think that the information that he financed Black Lives Matter, you think he didn't want that out?
If they didn't want that out, it wouldn't have came out.
Want it out, it wouldn't have came out. It would have stayed secret. So they put the information out so that it can create another controversy against a group that was created, right? And it keeps the conflict. We always that fucking conflict. If it ain't Black Lives Matter, it's the Black Panther Party. It's this.
And they know how we get. They know how we get our heartbeat. It moves like this. We passionate.
And they keep this conflict going on, while at the same time, just like the same thing with the brother and the came here with the guns and shit to get all the niggas pull out their guns and show they had guns. Those were distractions created by the enemy. Even though let me tell you something. Even if your
Hammer had some choice viewpoints on him.
Even if you do not know you are an agent for the government, you don't even know it, because why? They'll open the door and give you the venue to discuss your issue to create conflict. And this is the distraction. While the distraction was going on, they were passing laws. You see, we're distracted beneath the Congress and the House representative. They're passing fucking laws. We don't get, you know why? Because we emotionally distracted over the bullshit. And so listen to this, and I'm gonna say this: next year is the election time. Watch how many people pay attention to what's going on in the election that's going to come up. I'm going to be one that actually pointed out the fight of people's mindsets. Watch how what's going on now in this country. I don't care whether it's the Democrat or the Republican; they both parties of the same bird to me. And they both are nothing but
somebody said right cheek, left cheek,
right?
Both the same ass.
Right. They are nothing but to create the distraction, always to create some type of conflict to put out there, right? To keep us have these debates and discussion. Well, pay close attention to where the Democratic Party will be pushing and what they're pushing now. They're pushing mandates. They're trying to force this down your throat. They are pushing other companies that has over 100 employees to force their employees to have a shot or possibly lose their job or have to spend a lot of money to get tested every week. And so what's going on is that when someone's now running on the ticket, on the Democratic ticket, guess what? That's going to create conflict for Black people to attack that. And then do what? The Republicans is free again. Now Black people are going Republican, and they do some shitty shit. Then we're going back and forth. Well, we ain't creating nothing for our individual self, for our not only ourselves first, but our collective as a whole. I've always said this: if your subconscious mind is already operating on a default program, if your subconscious mind is operating on a default program, there are those who control the frequency. They control you, and you don't even know they're controlling you. Because you have a default program that's triggered and it's already in you. Look at this. Black officer, an officer killed Black person. If your ass is black, that's a default program. And did that not trigger you, piss you off, make you mad every time you see a cop kill another black? These are programs that are already uploaded into our subconscious mind. They know how to play the game and get us all distracted, while at the same time, there are a certain group of people who are understanding how to build this wealth, because the only way you can get out of this condition is fucking with wealth. The only way you can get out of any of your conditions is always about money. Oh, how are you going to improve your wealth? And secondly, how are you going to improve your health? Because all that's going to be important for this next year coming in.
Hey, and you know, and let's look at the other side. I'm gonna jump into some of these comments real quick. Kari Muhammad says Black Lives Matter. Louisville has farmland, homes, and facilities for abused women, and a few other exceptional projects. Okay, all right. So you have that, and that would be, you know, I don't know too much about that, I'll be honest. So I don't mind saying that. Let's look at this here. Omni etc. says my primary problem with socialism is in that system. The government will determine itself to be the most fit to distribute resources. We own nothing and they own everything. Johnny Wakefield says Black Lives Matter is really lack mentality matters. Interesting. All you have to do is to type in who supports and pays the funds currently for Black Lives Matter. And then she also says, just like pork and beef companies finance the diabetes and cancer organization. You can, and that's another factoid as well. You can go look up, and it's interesting because you look on a lot of the websites for diabetes and cancer organizations and look up recipes that they suggest. They're piss poor, horrible recipes that you know a diabetic or a cancer patient should not consume, should not be focused on, and that's interesting as well. But you know, with that in mind, let's see. Here we go. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Shout out to Vicky Lateef Wayne. End of the day, money is the only thing that will provide that happiness and freedom people are searching for. I'd rather be sad in a Mercedes than on a bike. You know, I love capitalism, so I would agree with that as well. But you know, then again, you have white boys that drive BMWs to high school and then shoot it up. So I don't know. They wasn't happy with their parents giving them BMWs. I don't know how that works. That was Columbine. Black Lives Matter is financed by the liberals.
That's right.
Good thing. Yeah. Yep. Truth. So you know, when we look at this, capitalism, socialism, and communism, you know, and just to kind of wrap it up here, you know, when I look at it, the ability to have free thought and take that free thought and from that thought create whatever it is I so choose. You know, I was talking to my brother, one of my brothers last night, and we were just talking about everything, right? And I mentioned something about my son and how, you know, we bought him a 3D printer last year because he wanted to create he had an idea to create some cell phone cases, right? And his mother's new guy said something last year to him that, you know, I don't know if he's going to keep up with that because, you know, he doesn't finish things and he doesn't, you know, he not going to forget it. He going to forget about it and not do it or whatever, right? Now, first off, poor choice of words to use over a child. You don't speak those things over a child. But when you talk about people that don't believe in speaking and thinking things into existence, then, you know, it's normal for them to say things like that, right? And then here it is a year later, you know, my son has kind of put that, and I mentioned that to dude, and he's like, well, where's the thing now? It's sitting. So I was right. No, you spoke over him. Well, talking to my brother, we said, you know what, we're gonna pick that up and we're gonna get him back into that. And my brother was like, I'm gonna invest. I said, whatever y'all need to fix that machine and get it going again, I'm gonna invest in him. Because even though my son just got he's going into pre-med magnet program and just got accepted into that. He wants to be an international soccer player. That's his dream. That's his passion. Been playing soccer since they were like 4 or 5. My son's 14 now. And you know, with that in mind, hey, we talked about, hey, why not create this business? Who knows? Maybe this business could blow up into something that finances your ability to travel and do everything that you want to do in passion, as you know, or whatever. Who knows? But you know, my brother was like, you know, kids don't really leave stuff alone. They'll come back to it. You know, it's a circle. They'll come back to it. So you don't speak negatively over them. But with that in mind, in another society of communism or socialism, we couldn't be sitting here talking about how we're going to invest in this child to create this business, to do what it is that he so chooses to do with that business. You know what I mean? To create whatever ideas that he wants to create, and we finance that. You know, you couldn't talk about that. But in capitalism, you can. In capitalism, if I want to start this business and do this thing and sell this product, you can go and start the same business, do the same thing and sell the same product. Well, now we get to compete. I might sell mine a little bit cheaper. You look and say, oh, I'm going to sell mine a little bit cheaper. Next thing you know, supply and demand, all of a sudden, hey, we all winning because the price is lower. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's interesting with capitalism, and definitely I love capitalism. Capitalism afforded me to own a business and the things that I do. And I came from prison, right? So I came from solitary confinement. And so this is where, when I speak on this, I say anybody can do it, you know, and I don't think I'm special more than anyone else. Maybe I just learned how to be more focused, that everyone needs to practice. But it's like there's a saying goes, there's enough money in it for everyone. That is a true saying. However, that's not absolutely true, but that is true. So in other words, I have a company that manufacture or package, I don't like to use that word manufacturing, package and produce my own product in over 400 stores. I'm in Louisville, Cincinnati, and Pauley, Indiana. Now check this out. There's a brother of mine, he has a similar company in Atlanta. And there are several companies now in Atlanta because the information how to make these particular products became a little bit more loose, where it used to be quite a secret. And so now you got other companies into this. And so they are my rivals of competition. Now here's what's interesting. So in this free market, not only am I able to create a product to drop my price and use what is called guerrilla marketing to move out my competition, right? That's free trade. That means I have a choice to drop my price low, move out my competition to where they're not here no more, and then ease my price back up to market value, right? And just so in other words, it when people say there's enough money in it for everyone, not in a demographic area, it's not. You mean to tell me
Everybody still there?
I'm here. John, freeze up.
Okay, yeah, John, you froze, bro. But with that in mind, I know he's gonna tap back in. Johnny Wakefield says, when people realize that all they need and want is within themselves, then there will be no longer be a blame for the lack in an individual's life. Simple, said and done. If you want more money, vibrate. It's that simple. If you want more happiness, vibrate that. If you want freedom, vibrate prosperity. Point blank, nobody will save you. The universe will only send you assistance and not a savior. Society has an external savior mentality, and this is why we are here and still stuck. I agree with that. I agree with that. Layla, you jump off of mute. Then what do you say about your ability to move in this society with the business and things that you have and have done under capitalism?
I would have to say first that being a business owner, wealth, none of those conversations really took place in my home and in my family. And my brother and I, we were actually just talking about that when we came together last month with our family. But the men in our family are sports fanatics. So unfortunately, most of us have been programmed. And we don't know. Like my parents, all they know is work for someone else. My mom worked for the hospital for years, and she never missed a day of work, never called in sick. And to me, that's like being a slave. And so all of these years of watching my parents work, and yes, we grew up middle class. But I will say that we have to change the narrative, and it starts with our babies. We got to teach. My parents, they told me that when you graduate high school, you got to get up out of here. You got to get a job. I was never, ever taught to pursue any type of business endeavor. I was never encouraged to do that. I recently just learned to tap into this abundance, this wealth mindset that I am the money. And all I have to do is tap in. So what we have to do is, and I have to retrain my brain. We have to stop saying we're broke. We have to get rid of that lack, that scarcity mindset, because that's not African. That's not us. We've always looked at nature in abundance. So I just want to give a shout out to the universe. I will say that what really has helped me, family, is changing my diet. Not eating all of that junk, drinking water. Once you detox your body, you're able to get more of that God consciousness, more of that God mindset. Like the sister said, knowing that all you need is inside you. You are the wealth. I am no longer going externally to find a solution because I am the money.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I love it. I want to make sure everybody, y'all, make sure that everybody who's listening, watching, at least share this show at least one time somewhere in a group or something, somewhere that you're affiliated with in your social media. Share it at least one time. Everybody who's watching, I appreciate that. This show throughout a week's time will get hundreds to thousands of views, which is pretty dope, especially when people share it. With that, I want to give a shout out to Omni, and he's saying a lot of times people are trying to be gold medalists in the struggle Olympics. I like that. It's dope. That's crazy. Most ethnicities, Kari Muhammad says, most ethnicities that built generational wealth started off working jobs. The difference is how they utilize the funds. Our families were consuming while others were investing. And that right there is the reason why we've now become the melanated community, the 14% representation in America has now become third-class citizens to the Latino community, whereas we were second-class citizens. Now we're third-class citizens, and you know, hey, I don't know, what would you do if you had some people in your house that wasn't doing much for you? I'm just saying. So you got to think about, you know, what you want to provide and give to society. We have to become more productive as a people, as opposed to just being consumers, because we are we are creators. That's who we are. That's it. Even the little bit of melanin that I got right here, man, me and John talk about creating shit all the time. You know, we are creators. Visionary greatness. That's how I manifest. Shout out to Ahamara Mathis. And I tell you what, hey, the external shit is a piss poor manifestation of what the government has set for us. Y'all really think CIA doesn't know what mind programming is? Man, this is a society with a dead mentality. It goes beyond the physical crap, and yet we still place all of our hope on the external. Nope. All I want is within. I am the painter, and the universe is my canvas. I love that, Vicky Latif. Also putting the trade schools back into schools systems, although not all are able to be home schooled. Yeah. Okay, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we used to. I grew up with, you know, I had the ability to go to home ec. You know, I be sewing the shit out of socks and hose and stuff like that right now because of my learning how to do that in home ec growing up. You know, I went to home ec for the girls, but guess what? You know, I can outcook damn near anybody. You know, I'm a beast with it.
We make pillows. And guess what I learned in my home ec class? You know, you're not supposed to, before you wash dishes, you're supposed to wash your hands, because you don't want to put your hands in that dirty water. I learned that in home ec class. So yes, even though I have a homeschool academy, we do need those basic skills, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many degrees that you have. We live in a skill-based economy where you have to be able to do something. And I like what the brother said about consuming. All we want to do is consume, buy, eat everything. It ain't producing nothing. Like, for instance, all of these babies sitting at home playing video games.
Mm-hmm. They took it all away.
Why don't we make our own video game?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what do they learn in school if you take the hands away? That's Hamara saying that just the same. I mean, if it wasn't for shop class, you know, would I have grown up reading those Boys Life magazines and you know, I remember as a kid putting together. I found they had an idea of how to make a hovercraft using a vacuum motor and stuff like that. I did that as a kid. I was playing with transistor radios. Then I grew up and became an engineer for Bell South at 21. You know, so. You know, you never, when you look at that started, you know, shop class in school, you know, so that type of mechanically inclined mentality. Now, you know, when I sit here and put my hands on stuff and fix this, that, and the other, you know, girlfriend or whatever is looking and they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do all that, because the dudes of today, they don't know nothing about all of that stuff. You know, they don't know how to fix nothing. They don't know how to, you know, I go out, do the oil change on my car, do the tune up, all that stuff. I don't want to. So I take it somewhere and participate in capitalism and pay somebody else to do it. But if I need to, I absolutely can. And that comes from those trades, learning those things as a young kid and such like that. Now we're about to shut it down. I'm John, I want you to kind of finish up with what you would talk about, or come in and close us out, whatever it is you want to spit as we end the show for the day.
We had a great meeting with some brothers over the week. It was Thursday.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that real quick. That was awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome. Very inspiring. I want to thank you, brothers, for inviting me out for that. Food was good, but the conversation was off the chain. And I think we all come from, we all came together from different backgrounds, but we all share the same understanding of how to get this wealth and what's going on out here. How do we get this money? Bottom line, how do we get this money? And so one of the things we talked about, and I'm always going to inject and provoke thought, is the subconscious mindset of how we think as individuals. And when I use this concept, I say that I like to call it the default program mind of what we think behind what we see. In other words, if you're not willing to challenge that default mind and find something wrong with it, in other words, I like to use the word challenge yourself. Don't believe everything you think. And so you got to understand what is the default program. And so sometimes you can benefit off of a default program if you learn it from someone else's program, not from your program. Let me give you an example. It's very interesting. When I first started my business, I started with a fragrance called, let me put that right here. Can you see that?
Jasmine.
It's called Alkawi fragrance. See the name of the top?
Yes, sir. Alkawi. Yep.
Alkawi fragrance. It was my first fragrance line that I brought out. And after September 11th, because of Al Jazeera and Al Qaeda being placed over the airwaves, so much so, this product was predominantly in the Black neighborhood. Well, guess what happened? Black people stopped buying my products. And I kept wondering, why the fuck my products ain't selling? And I didn't realize till later that what was going on was the mindset. So in other words, Black people stopped buying my products because of they associated the word al, A-L, with terrorism. And so after September 11th, blowing down the trade, I didn't know what the hell they got to do with Black people, and why are you concerned all of a sudden? So
because I ain't never seen nobody, none of them holding niggas hostage at all.
Right.
We are not great trade commodities in that respect, not at all.
So the product was going down. It was plumbing. My business was plumbing really quick. So I switched up. Entrepreneur mind don't sit around and see and stay behind problems.
Not in a capitalistic society.
We go around that shit. We found another way around that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna hold me back. So I created another product. I created another line called Sons of Cairo. Red, black, and green. I'm using the Black Pan-African colors now, right? And guess what? 1 year, that shit didn't take off. You know why? Because Moors don't like Pan-African colors. Hebrews don't like Pan-African colors. Muslims don't like Pan-African colors. Christians don't like Pan-African colors. So guess what? That product never got out the door. So I realized I was being too black. And I just want money. I just want a successful ass.
Because the money's green.
Yeah, right? So I figured out that I didn't want to work on a product that was consciously based because of our people program, our subconscious program, which is a default. If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Moor or Hebrew, you have a default program that you're going to judge everything against, right? You automatically have this default program, whether you learned it as a child or whether you learned it later. Whatever you believe becomes a default program. So I sat down and came up with a new name called Saya Baba. Not relationship to nobody's bullshit. You can't connect it to somebody. I use the colors green and gold. Look at that black goddess. See that black goddess? That's black goddess right there.
We
just produced that. We just came out with the black. Let me make that clear. Damn. the black goddess, right? So we came out with the red, we came out with the colors of green and gold. Now, my products are sold everywhere, in the white neighborhood, the black neighborhood. Nobody's questioning it, even though a lot of people don't know what the word Saya Baba means. For black people, it sounds foreign. A lot of black people didn't know it was a black product, right?
I'm thinking Saya, and then I'm thinking the word Baba.
Baba, correct.
You know,
the word Saya is Persian, East African. It means one who brings good. Baba's in all languages is one who's an elder, a father, a grandfather. That's a Baba. And so I put those two terms together and called it Saya Baba, right? And some people have referred it to as Sai Baba, which is another brand. But nevertheless, the Saya Baba brand took off. And then I came up with soap sticks, something that she was just sewing. My soap stick products is hot, right? But what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is the default program in our brain set. And so who controls that default program is the people who control media. You got to correct that default program inside your brain to learn how to move forward in life. Other than that, you're going to continue to run up against obstacles based on that default program, because they created that to cause you to have distractions. And this is one of the biggest downfalls that we can't achieve. We can't stay focused. The number one thing is to being able to stay focused. There's a great book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, right? The power of your subconscious mind, right? And so we got to understand how this works. When we want to come up with something as an individual, you first as an individual, a lot of times we want to add to a collective and look at collective movements. But let me tell you something. If you haven't established yourself individually, you can't bring nothing to the collective, but your hand is out. You can't give to the collective. You can't support to the collective. You come to the collective with your hand out. What I teach basically is this. You are the magic of your own life. Your own consciousness determines your reality. Your own consciousness. If your consciousness is lack because you were raised around lack, guess what? You have a lack mentality, and therefore that produces your life over and over again. Another great book someone turned me on to. This is a great book right here. Really simple.
Thought vibration. Yes, sir.
Right?
Right.
And so basically it's just understanding the frequency is a thought. Your thought is a frequency. When you have a thought, it's a frequency. It's like thinking of somebody and they appear. It's like thinking of a song and they appear. Those are frequencies. We got to move based on frequency. What was we talking about at that meeting? I said, listen, when I was talking, I said, I move on frequency. I don't move on color. I don't move because your ass is black. I move based on the frequency you're showing me. The frequency that I resonate with is what I move on. If you're moving based on black, you're going to get food and stepped on over and over again. We need to understand that when you walk into a room, examine yourself of how you feel. That's a frequency. Whether you feel upbeat, whether you feel low, whether you feel depressed, those are frequencies. Notice how you come in front of someone's presence. How did that person make you feel? Those are frequencies. So I move on frequency. When I come in your presence, I'm going to check my frequency of how it resonates with whatever you're bringing. Whether do I feel safe? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel liked? Do I feel wanted, right? And the meeting that we had the other day, man, that was awesome frequency we were building on. And I'm looking forward to what we're going to build from that's going to come out of that meeting.
Exactly. And, you know, the cool part about that is, you know, and that's why we're going to have to bring Layla together because Chef E. Moore or Edward Moore is big chess player.
Yes.
And he competes and in a lot of championships and tournaments around the US. And big chess player, you know, he didn't tell me some stories of getting his butt beat by an 8-year-old, you know. You know, it can happen. It can happen because, you know, it's just all, you know, dope is dope, you know, but he's dope and he's won some tournaments and has plenty of trophies. And so with what we were talking about in creating more community things, you know, like we used to have a lot more community programs, but in creating that, being able to I just saw the ability to bring chess together in general with that, to bring that in the mix of that creation of community events. So, with that in mind, we will be doing some things for 2022 because that was such a great build, with everybody. It was absolutely dope.
I see one thing that's missing though. Where's that divine feminine energy at?
Man, don't worry. Don't worry. Behind every great man, you know what I mean?
Great point. That's
but you're right. You're right. And that's why one of the first thoughts was a Layla. So believe me, that's absolutely, you're absolutely right. Look at that. There it is. Yep. So that's, and that's why one of the first thoughts was, what, we got to pull Layla into this and see how we can incorporate, because she already has something community wise. We just need to expound upon it and add a couple more programs in there. As I talk about life insurance, we want to, give kids the opportunity to focus on that as well. Stocks and finance and everything. We want to put all that under one roof. And there's some stuff out there that is being done. And I think we just need to connect with it and expound upon it. Go ahead, Layla.
I was gonna say real quick, family, that I am in the process of rebranding my business. And with me owning a school and having children, a lot of my business decisions were emotional. So I'm actually rebranding my school. And I want to say this, family, we also have to remember the importance of technology. And even though I have almost 2 master's degrees, I want to give a shout out to Amped. A lot of people don't know, but I'm actually ending, wait a minute, Prince. I'm ending my day program at the end of the year. So I am no longer offering a full-time academy. And it was a really hard decision to make because I've been doing this for 8 years. However, because of John, a lot of my other mentors, I started to realize that I needed to act more like a business owner. So thank you, John, so much. So with that being said, Amped actually is offering a data analytics program. So I am actually back in school, and in 10 weeks, I will be a data scientist.
Wow.
So I'm starting a new career. As y'all know, I'm a math and science teacher. I love math and science. And I was never encouraged to go into a math or a STEM career. So now at 45, I'm a mathematician. I'm a statistician. I'm out here. I'm a data analyst, with that being said. So I want to say this to all my people that have started a business: never look at it as a loss, because we don't lose, we learn. So these 8 years, I have learned a whole lot. And like John was saying, yeah, y'all look at my logo. Let me show y'all my logo real quick. Red, black, and green. But I'm getting away from that. Money is green, right? So no longer is that going to be my focus. I'm actually transforming my homeschool academy into a school of data science.
Wow.
I'm going to be teaching data analytics. One of my friends is going to be teaching coding. Another friend is going to be teaching website design. Another friend is going to be teaching graphic design. So I'm actually going to be starting a school for data science.
Wow.
And that is going to be for everybody. So thank y'all so much, brothers, for the opportunity. Y'all the first people to know. I haven't told anybody. So I'm just really excited about the future, and I just thank y'all for the opportunity, because a lot of people at the end of the day, they don't want to support people that look like us. But at the end of the day, y'all have always shown me love, and I thank you.
All good, all good. And you know, I like what Hamara said, and she said this when John talked about changing his logo stuff, and the same thing goes for what you just said, sis. It's still Black Power. You had to get clever. You won, so you winning. You get clever, and you focus on just creating quality product or what have you. And those that are those that resonate with you gonna come.
That's right.
You know, and you can still, you know, promote it to you can still be broad with promotions and advertising, and still focus on community at the same time, you know, in different ways. You don't have to have, like you said, that you know, red, black, and green logo. And
then financially, I'm sorry, but like Garvey said, we cannot depend on our people to support us financially. For the past few years, my school has been operating in the red. My tuition donation is $150 a week. None of my parents were paying that. They get yoga, art, chess, martial arts. They get a curriculum designed for them. But I cannot have a business if the donations are not being paid.
Correct.
So I know my worth and I know my value, and I'm getting ready to start charging full price.
That's right.
Charge full price.
Yeah,
you know, if you want more of us, just put a Nike symbol at the bottom of your logo.
Right.
You know,
right. Or football or basketball.
Yeah, there's a great saying when it comes to business and products. Never be afraid to ask for what you think you're worth. Never be afraid. Don't dumb down your value because you're in front of a person that is dumbed down. Make your product or whatever you do, put value on it, and people will see the value. Those who don't see the value, it don't matter. So you know, when you put value on your shit, you put that you know, I'm gonna tell you, of course, you know, I look at my products going out into stores and how I work to make sure my fragrances are quality and everything. That's the quality. And price don't really matter when it comes to quality. You say, man, I want that product because it's quality. Even though it may be a couple of pennies or a few cents higher than someone else's, it's the quality that I think, and that's what pays me. Because here's the thing: if you don't have passion for a passion is quality. Who in the hell wouldn't want to pay for quality? And so don't let nobody dumb you down with your product. You are the product. And so, you know, keep it quality.
And you know, and that goes back, even when you start talking quality over quantity or quantity over quality, that goes back to a mindset. It goes back to a programming. It goes back to the reason why in the West End there's like 5 Family Dollars, right? So people go, one thing I learned about quality, and this came from when I was a sales rep for a company called Vitamix Corporation. They are the largest blending equipment company in the world. When you go into Smoothie King, those are Vitamix machines. So they paid for me to travel all over the US and showcase this $500 price point residential model. And one of the things I used to always say is when you spend your money on quality, you only spend your money one time. When you spend your money on crap, you spend your money over and over and over. So that mentality has been embedded into us when it comes to us going to the local Family Dollar. And we keep spending our money over and over on that crap. There's a lot of garbage in there, and the stuff breaks. You know, y'all know, you go buy them little rinky dink headsets and stuff like that. It you know, you got about a week, 2 weeks on it. You know, even the Bluetooth ones, you might get a month. You know, but with that in mind, it's a lot of crap. What dictates what I learned, you know, even with selling that $500 price point item, the first dictation of quality was warranty. And a 7-year top to bottom shipping included warranty, right? So for 7 years, I have an issue with it. They will send me a shipping label, and they will, and I can ship that to them, and they will fix it, and they will send it back to me all free of charge for 7 years, right? That's quality. So when you start looking, you know, traditional products have a year-long manufacturer warranty, and there's a lot of stipulations within that. Go ahead, girl. Look at that. I see that. So quality, you know, and that's, we have to change our mindset when it comes to that. The idea of quality. When you buy a Saya Baba or Soap Sticks product, that is quality. There's a whole lot of things that dictate quality, from how it's packaged, who's packaging it, and the emotional side of the people that are there packaging it as well, that is incorporated into packaging that product. So it all comes together to showcase a dictation of quality, and we have to change our mindset. Stop with all the names. You know, if I understand etiquette about which fork to use, it doesn't mean that I'm bougie. It just means that I understand etiquette. Plain and simple. It's the same thing with the English language. There is a right way to speak it. It's not talking white, none of that. There's a right way to speak it, right? Because that's the king's language. You want to speak language a different way, come up with your own, right? And you could do that. So, you know, we got to get away from the names. You know, we're going into 2022, get away from the name calling from each other, change our mentality, look at quality versus quantity, and start moving in an upward movement. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If whatever it is you're looking at is moving in a direction of common sense, because we all got it, we all have the ability to tap into common sense. If it's moving towards common sense, guess what? That is a better way for you to move than in any other direction, because what's right in most cases will always move towards common sense. So with that in mind, folks, we got to bounce. You know, I don't know about y'all, but people pulling on me. You know, they want to get some Christmas stuff started and whatnot. You know, as much as this is such a what do we call it? A pagan holiday. We do want to focus on family, nonetheless. You know, so with that in mind,
before we close out. Yeah, before we close out, I just want to say, you know, this is our last show of this year. We'll see you next year on the 1st, actually. And so with that said, I want to at least provoke a thought that in this new year, off this day of this new year, you got to be able to have a focus on what you want to bring into this existence. And it's very interesting. It's two things I always say is very important to make it your, whether you want to call it your New Year's resolution or what. Two things is focused upon is your health and your wealth. Pay attention to your health. And listen, this year here, we should start learning. If you don't know how to cook, you should start learning how to cook. Get away from eating restaurant foods. It's very important. There are foods now are lacking nutrition. They're producing foods that are lacking nutrition. So I can only imagine if you're eating restaurant foods that are lacking even more nutrition. We have to focus on our health. They're going to continue to push this narrative of this disease. And so you focus on your health. and you focused on being able to accumulate some wealth, because this is going to be a whole different dynamic for you, for all of us coming up this year. This is why I'm trying to diversify and look at other investments that I'm trying to move into. This next year for me, it's going to be an abundant year. I'm already going in the directions of looking at new investments that I'm doing.
7 streams of income, folks.
7 streams of income. So I'm going to be revealing, Joe and I are going to be revealing some things as I move forward to creating these new ventures. We're going to be talking about them. We're going to be revealing them. And hey, I'm the type of person, I'm sharing knowledge with you. I'm going to give you the point, the direction, but I'm not going to hold your hand. I will point some directions for you, right? But I'm not going to hold your hand. That's very important. So again, focus on your
health. Won't, folks. You ask him,
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you? It's nigga gonna say, look it up.
Yeah.
He done told me, he said, look it up. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why even. I knew better. I knew better, and I sure did.
So we're going to be dropping some jewels. We're going to be dropping some knowledge, just like we just did, talking about the Fiji water and the things that you can buy extremely cheap to create your own business. We're going to be talking about these streams of revenue that you can start for less than $1,000. Very easy, just an extra income. But mainly also pay attention to your health. Stop eating this crappy ass food, and we need to cook. And I came up in the 60s, so I was in the kitchen with my mama. We was cooking back then.
Man,
today I don't know what it is with these women that don't cook today.
Hey,
and not a blanket statement, but there are some women that just do not cook.
Hey, look, I'm showcasing people right now. I'm showcasing to people right now how to live without a microwave.
Oh man,
it's an easy thing to do. It really is.
Yes. So pay attention to your health this year. Make that your New Year's resolution to keep your health right. And how can you build your wealth? Stop spending so much and look for other investments. It's very, very important, because this is going to be that type of year. Keep your mind clear. Don't allow yourself to be distracted, because they're going to have a whole lot to bring your frequency low. Keep your frequency up and high. Believe in yourself. And something I want to close and say is very interesting, I think, and I mentioned it before. Take your phone and create an affirmation of who you are, who you want to be, and what you want to see in life. And then download this program called Loop Recorder. Put it on that loop recorder along with some nice vibrational 432 frequency, or 428, 528, 432 frequency, that creative frequency, and allow that to play all night, telling you you're great, you're happy, you're in abundance, and watch how you feel when you wake up. You can create whatever program you want, and this is where I'm speaking about how to upload new programs so that you can remove the default program that's blocking you from moving forward.
That might be the show for the new year, because some of y'all fall asleep to the TV, right? And you got bullshit playing. You know what I mean? And some of y'all let your kids fall asleep to the TV and they got bullshit playing, right? Imagine what could happen. You know, I mean, I ain't saying, you know, I'm not saying, but I know when my kids were in the womb as twins, it was classical music being played. We focused so much on talking to them, uplifting them in the womb. And now I look and I'm so proud of my kids, you know, my daughter being accepted into the STEM, doing interviews and being accepted into the STEM program, science, technology, and what is that? Mathematics is the M? I'm not sure. But you know, so that's all computer science and robotics and stuff like that. You know, I got mentors for her set up that are in that field. You know, my son being accepted into pre-med, you know, and I just look at this stuff and I'm like, man, it is so, you have to be so intentional when it comes to that stuff, man. You know, your subconscious is everything. You know, when you look at nature, that's God's expression right there. Right. What did my brother say last night? He said, when the heavens and the earth come together, the sun will rise. That's the energy. When man and woman come together, that energy that is produced, you know, when we come together as a people, that energy is produced. I'm telling you, we can do some amazing things.
Amazing.
for 2022, folks, start looking in a different direction. There you go, Ahamara. No TV going on a decade. We have a DVD player. Frank Stoner, haven't had a microwave. I'm with Frank. I probably threw mine away about the same time he did. I ain't have a microwave for 15 years, and teaching others how to do it.
I want to give a shout out to Layla for what she does with her son. I think it's awesome. I think seeing him in piano, seeing him in violin,
with the violin, everything.
That's some dope ass shit. That little boy, I want to be around when that little boy grow up to see how he turns out, because you really putting in. You are really putting in. Right now, he ain't even 7 years old, and what she's doing right now, while he's in that theta wave mindset, before he's 7. You talk about programming. That little boy is gonna be dope. I'm telling you, he's gonna be dope. I don't know too many people that's a teacher or a professor that didn't have dope children when they grew up to be scientists and be great, right? But I watch you. I see
securing the future. Securing the future.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. I'm watching you. I see what you're doing with your son, and I don't know if other people don't get it, but I'm gonna tell you, that little boy is going to be something to watch when he grow up. I promise you.
Thank you for that, brother. That's my motivation. I had my son at 40, and I did not once close down my business. So not only am I a full-time mom, I'm a full-time business owner, and all my choices, all my decisions, he's my motivation. John,
yeah, you took him with you.
You
took him with you. You took him with you everywhere you go.
Everywhere I go. Thank you, John. I nursed for 37 months. Yes, thank you. And mothers, because of bring it back to capitalism. Unfortunately, they expect us to have a baby and go right back to work. But while we're working, who's raising our babies? Who's programming our babies? So, John, thank you for that, because I put my business, I have degrees, my career on hold for my son. And a lot of people, Layla, you done fell off. You ain't got this, you ain't got that. You can say whatever you want. But my son, though, my son, thank you, John. I needed that, brother.
That's the legacy right there. That's the legacy. So, on that note, folks, just, we got to do better in 2022. You stay tuned to the show, on WLOU 1350, 104.7, WLOUonline.com, right here on Facebook, right here on YouTube. Also, check us out. We're going to be uploading a bunch more new episodes on Spotify. So make sure y'all subscribe. Just hitting that little button, subscribe, that little share button, any of that stuff is dope. We appreciate you. Until next time, Layla, thank you for vibing with us on the show. We appreciate you, sis. Love it every single time I see a post to anything. Don't worry, Ahamara, the microwave thing is easy. Just, on the stove or in the oven. Get yourself a little toaster oven. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to help replace somebody's microwave with, is a toaster oven. And we're going to put that on the countertop instead. So, just learn. It's easy, folks. We can do so much better and get back to learning more about the God in us and that power that we have to do great things. So on that note, we will see you guys next week.
Next year. Black tomorrow. For unity, Emoja. And if you don't have a Kanara, you can use these, family. So get your lighters and light those black candles tomorrow for unity. Happy Kwanzaa.
When I say light it up, man, I hear that. One. Yeah. All right, folks. Until next time.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right. Peace.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. Right here on WLOU. Stream it live on Facebook and WLOUonline.com. And now, The Tipping Point Show.